Hi, my name is Sharon McDonald, and I am going to share with you my experience on how I got started using essential oils and how I thought they were voodoo magic and wackadoodle when we first started. And that is because my first introduction to them happened to be with an essential oil company that I didn't really care for the smell of, and there was just a sense of something about it that I just was like, it was just voodoo magic and kind of wacky, and I just didn't think anything of it. But about 10 years later, I was introduced to another essential oil because I broke the 5th metatarsal on my left foot. And it had been broken for 3 months and hadn't healed, hadn't done anything. I'd been non-weight bearing, doing everything that I needed to. And I was so upset because they were going to put a pin in my foot. And I didn't want to have surgery, and I didn't want to have something artificial in my body like that. So a friend of mine told me about this lovely little oil called Helichrysum, and it came in a little bottle like this. And I remember I got that, and I got this little bottle of birch, and I just applied them onto my 5th metatarsal every single morning. And that's this. If this was my foot, it was this little bone right here, and it was broken like that. And I used that every single morning and every single night, every single day, and for 1 month. And I went back to the doctor, and he was shocked. He brought in the rest of his staff because I had a brand new bone. And so that kind of changed things for us. We brought into our home peppermint essential oil just for fever reduction at that point. And 3 years later, I had a child who had an emotional disorder called obsessive compulsive disorder, and worried about the rules and about like the safety of the house. If it was windy, is the house going to blow away, and things like that. So it started to just kind of impede the effectiveness of how he operated on a daily basis and how we operated as a family. So we turned to essential oils, and it worked, but they weren't consistent, and so that always stayed in the back of my mind. And so people often say to me, you're only doing doTERRA because you are doing it as a business, and you like to make money on people, and I don't need to participate in that. Well, I'm here to share with you that I am the queen of do not sell me on anything. The wall of Gibraltar will go up, and I won't listen, and I don't want to participate. And I sat in that doctor's office and thought to myself, what? They wanted to put him on a drug called Focalin, and the #1 side effects when I looked at the sheet with the doctor was heart failure, kidney failure, liver failure, and then stunted growth. And I just looked at that and I was like, this child is 11 years old, and I would be taking that for the rest of my life, offering him that at such a young age where he didn't even have a say. And not that that's not okay for other parents, that's fine, but for me it was not. And so I said, isn't there another option? And she said, well, you know, homeopathics can work sometimes. And when she said that, I remembered, oh my gosh, I use essential oils. So I contacted a friend who used another essential oil company, and I used them, but one of the things I didn't like was that it wasn't consistent. And about 3 months after I started using that and had spent $400 with that company, I was invited to a doTERRA class. And the first essential oil that was passed around at that class was peppermint. And I just remember when I opened the bottle, put the drop in my hand, rubbed it between my hands, breathed it in, I knew immediately, oh my gosh, this is so different than what I have ever used in my entire life. And I felt it from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. And you know how a rain stick goes click, 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 click? That's kind of what happened inside my body. And I thought, I need to pay attention here, because I don't know what I've been giving my family, but this stuff needs to be looked at in depth. So I did some more research, and the interesting thing about it was essential oils, the first time around, when I really started using them, you know, there was a book, and it was this thick. This is the book. I'm not going to tell you who wrote it. But there were things in here that were, the recipes were kind of just wacky, you know, and really long, and you know, like draw a line behind your ear and then circle around your right ankle and then keep massaging the left side of your leg. And I just thought, you know what, that is not simple. And a mother of 5 children, a mother of even 1 child, right? It doesn't matter, but the time and effort that it takes to be able to take care of your kids and run a home and do anything else that you have going on does not require you to be having your nose in a book all the time going, okay, now it said that I had to do, you know, I had to do warm compresses and I had to circulate it, and then I had to follow it up with a cold compress, and then I, you know, just all that kind of stuff, and then look for spinal depressions and just different things like that. It just did not resonate with me personally. And so I thought that they were kind of wackadoodle. Okay, so until I started to use them, and then it really became a little bit clearer. But I have to tell you, when I got to using dōTERRA, every time I used them, and if I was consistent, which consistency is key, I had a good experience. My family had a good experience. Even when they grouchy and complaining and you and those stupid oils, you know, I'm being very candid, but that's the kind of stuff I heard. I don't want another thing about oils. And that's the kind of stuff that they would say to me. And it's okay, because guess what? I am the first defense at home. And if I was putting Pepto-Bismol down their throat, I would be cleaning up vomit in the next minute. But I know that I can rub a little essential oil called Digestin. It's a proprietary blend by dōTERRA for digestive issues, and it works. Okay, it works. It stops constipation. It helps nausea. It helps you have a bowel movement. It helps you stop diarrhea, and it helps stop vomiting. So one-stop shop, man, and that economically is way more important to me. So that is really how we got started, and there is this wonderful book that's not written by dōTERRA, it's a third party. Wonderful folks over at Aroma Tools got together and did a lot of scientific research and data, and it is built completely on science. And that's the other thing I really appreciate about dōTERRA, is that this book and just the company in general is set up specifically on chemistry. So people say to me, yeah, that's just a marketing gimmick. That CPTG stuff is just something that dōTERRA made up. And in the world of aromatherapy, they believe that to be true, and that's fine. As a certified aromatherapist, I can assure you that this is, and I work with many who are convinced that science doesn't lie and chemistry doesn't lie. So that's what sets dōTERRA apart. It is based on the complete profile of a plant, going exactly where it needs to be found to be able to have the medicinal value that dōTERRA is looking for. And then it has to undergo 7 different tests to ensure that there's no pesticides, no junk, no weeds, no anything else. And the only thing in there is exactly what was in that ground, in that plant. The chemistry of that plant is exactly what's in the bottle. So I know that when I am getting an essential oil like peppermint, that is exactly what's in that bottle. Those same constituents that were in that plant are exactly what's in this bottle. So in this book, what differs here is that it walks you through different mechanisms and different ways to use essential oil, and gives you a little bit of a diagram on how to use and how to apply. And I have to tell you, this is really nice to know, but just get it on. Just get the oil on the body and you'll watch it work its magic. This is important. You can apply it to the bottom of your feet because you have the most pores there. And you can, obviously, if you're putting it on your fingers, you're putting it on with your hands, you're going to get it on your hands and you're going to get it in these organs and these other places. But don't get bogged down with this. Essential oils are super simple because they communicate the same way our body does. They're bioidentical. So we don't have to get super bogged down about where it goes and how it goes unless we have a specific thing we're treating. You know, like lungs. Okay, so lungs, you're not just going to place it over your lungs, you're going to put it on the ball of your foot, because when we look at reflexology, the ball of the foot is where those lungs are, and so that's good. But just get it on. Truthfully, when you're just getting started, be consistent, get it on, use it, and you'll have success. The other nice thing I love about this book is at the beginning it tells you about every single essential oil and the blends, and then it tells you historically what happened, what it can be used for, and that keeps it super simple. Then when you get inside, you start learning about the different ailments. You can just go through and find, if you know the alphabet and you know how to read, then you can learn how to use essential oils. And if you're really in depth on like, I've got to have a peer review and I've got to have that, well, guess what? There's your scientific evidence right down there. And I have to tell you right now, these are not placebo. A lot of times people say, oh, that's placebo. I have to tell you from my experience, I am very skeptical. I don't jump on any bandwagon. I'm very intelligent, and I can assure you these work in my family. And I have had such a great experience doing it. I am here to empower every family that comes in contact with me in any form and help them learn how to get these oils into their home and be the first defense. So I hope that you guys have had a great time learning a little bit more about essential oils, and I hope you have a great day.